Good evening all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Tuesday, the 15th of June, 2021. We're just after 5:27 a.m. Central Time. Now, I have my own philosophy. It's different than a lot of other people. I have learned when a major report is coming to do this. I wash my hands, I put them in my pockets like you see here, and I avoid the market. I stepped out of that thinking in May when I went through a USDA grain report, had a huge lead in corn. I gave it back. That was my slap in the face for trying to be a wise guy. I rationalized, well, I have a big lead, it's not going to matter. Corn generally doesn't move that much. Well, it waited for me to do that. So will I make that mistake again so quick? Oh, no. So what I've really told my clients, they were long in crude oil. I said, take your money off the table here. It's getting overextended anyways. Take your money off the table in the Russell. They had been in those two trades, and we will wait for the FOMC meeting tomorrow. Now, going into it, I don't expect the Fed to say anything different. That's not where I'm concerned. If that happens, we'll see it in the wording, and the market will tell you. It's the dot plot you start looking at. That's going to give you an idea, without telling you who, each of the Fed members think that rate changes will take place. We had 4 of them that thought in 2022 we would get rates going up at that point. Are we getting more to the party, or did some back off? Is the Fed's transitory idea right or not? Is employment a bump? We tomorrow also get a lot of Chinese data. You'll say, why is that important? They've been ahead of us in coming out of everything. So you can look at their factory gates. You can look at how the retail spending is, production, and you start getting ideas of a country that had a huge bump, and now it's setting back. How many months into that? What should we expect? You're looking at retail sales in the U.S. You do understand we were buying. Lowe's, Home Depot, we were buying like mad on our home. So you'd have thought that the retail stores, the clothing stores and all would do well, and they are. But where the consumer will go, he'll only buy so many shirts and pants right away, but he's going out to the restaurants. He's going out to the bars. He's going to go to concerts. Keep that all in the back of your mind, and it gets lost so darn often. Okay. In the S&P, we are up for the week a 0.6%. Not very much, okay? 2.5 points. So the market's in a pause stage. Need I say any more? Going in, and this is already the opening on Wednesday. Remember that. You can see what we're doing. There's nothing here that looks bearish in the market, but the volatility on the way up has gotten the ranges narrower and narrower, to speak. You've got higher lows, higher highs, bullish. The market is over the 18-week average, bullish. Another bullish factor. If you take a look right here, 41.97 was the last break low. The market is now at the 18-week average of closes. I call that the line in the sand. When you're over it, it's a support number. Get higher than that now. So if you wanted to break to it, you need not break the pattern of higher lows and higher highs, and you can afford a correction. When you look at where the market went to, let's call that my enhanced Bollinger Band course. I'll talk about that at the end of this, but there you go, and you can see how the market backed away from that number. As you look at momentum, are you going to lose the embedded reading? You haven't going into tomorrow. You still have a solid 84. So at this point, the momentum is bullish. The bias is up because you're over the 18-week average in the trend. But that train is coming down the track. And that train, if the market doesn't like what it sees, everything changes because it's a new set of data that the market has to absorb. Got it? NASDAQ, what do you do the first time you hit an upper Bollinger Band? I think the pros take money off the table. Momentum is still embedded, drifting a bit, but drifting isn't the end of it. Trend is up, and just like we saw, you've now got this number where it's climbed over the last break low. So these markets, at least these front two, can afford a pullback to them to find support and not violate the pattern of higher highs, higher lows. Not the case in the Dow. You have a higher high, lower low in an oversold market. You have no trend. You're just drifting around. And these black dashed lines called the Bollinger Bands are wrapping around the market because volatility has come out of the market and it'll wrap in there for a little bit. Then we get to the Russell. Well, if we take a look today at the Russell, on the very close, you have not lost the embedded reading. It kept it by the skin of its chinny chin chin. It's losing it early tonight, but you don't want to get stochasticitis. But as I told you, I had clients long and I told them to come out. Not because I was anticipating that. I see that train coming down. Guess what? When the caboose goes by, I can jump right back on the track. What I can't do is jump in time necessarily to avoid that thud and turn good into bad. I'm not turning bad into good. With no position, I'm not doing anything wrong. And believe me, you do things wrong. In the VIX, where do you think the resistance is going to be? I'm going to say it's going to be at the 18-week average of closes. You have an oversold condition that's, if you will, correcting itself. We have a low here of 1504 as a break low, and the low right here was at 1515. So you still have the pattern of lower highs, lower lows. It is still bearish. But why gamble this? It'll take nothing on that FOMC number to get over that. Who knows what the number is going to be? And when I go to numbers, I'm assuming I'm right that the language isn't going to change much. It'll be the dot plot that the market focuses on. In the 30-year note, you lost the embedded reading. Gee, I'm really not surprised. Why did you lose it? This is yesterday. Why? These are the markets that are directly impacted by the Fed, right? They control interest rates. So the market had gotten up here, it's backing off, could get to that 100-day average and the 18. It, like everything else now, wants to see what's going on. The downside target that is active, because you lost the embedded reading, is 157.26 down to 157.12. The 10-year note lost its embedded reading. Targets 132.10 to 132.06. Obviously, if the Fed does something super bullish, you have to take out these highs to prove that the market's got legs to it to the upside. The current highs that the market made. When I come to the dollar index, 3 days in a row of fighting at the upper Bollinger Band. Okay, why would anybody want to make it a push on it until they see this data? I'm not saying I'm right in what I'm saying. I'm asking the question. I don't think they would. The trend is up, and I think the pros have used that number to take some money off the table, and the flip-flop in the euro. But here you don't have a trend. You actually got a pattern of a higher high and a lower low. You hit that band and you're just walking away. Doesn't mean much. I don't see anything there. And in the British pound, you've been in a downtrend. Again, you keep hitting that lower band. We knew that we could get that news that they're going to do a 3 to 4 week delay of opening the economy in the UK. The market's not panicking about it. So be careful here, because each day that goes by and more people get vaccinated, it's great. The key is to get 70% of the people in each country we can vaccinated with the vaccines that we have. AstraZeneca, which a lot of them have, if you read the most recent news, it's not all that impressive. Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson seem to be the three. And I am not pushing names, just telling you what I read. In Bitcoin, do you honestly want to push that you're going to come out of this? This is Elon Musk's rally. I know what it is. It got up here, but what do I teach that traders do when you hit a number? Take the name off the chart. I don't care what the name is. In fact, I don't even want to know half the time the name on a chart. I'll just tell you the points where I think the market is going. If you're a true chartist, you should be able to do that. Remember, a chartist isn't worried about things other than the price action. But a smart chartist will say, I think at least, there's a major report coming. It could change the fundamentals and the perception of what's going on. Let's get past it and see if that perception hasn't been shook. In the Brent versus WTI crude, it has fallen down. It's hanging at a $2 difference, and it's on fire in these. Will you get up to the Bollinger Bands? I don't know. As I started off and told them my other subscribers, I decided, and I had clients that I did in my subscription, they were long, and I told them yesterday, let's just take money off the table. Did I leave money today? Absolutely. Do I wish I had said it today instead of yesterday? Sure I do. Do I wish I had said it tonight with the market even up more? Sure I do. But at the end of the day, they were long in these areas, they got out nicely, and guess what? I have a clean head. That doesn't mean you had to come out. I don't manage people's money. I don't want the phone call, why is this happening to my account? I don't want to know. But I do call my subscribers, and you'll get a surprise call from you. They'll go, is that really Ira? I go, it is. I just want to say hello, tell me a little about yourself, blah, blah, blah. I love that. I don't want to be the other side of bad news. I don't want to know that. I just like doing this. Target still 73.35 until you lose the embedded reading. I don't see a change there. We did see a change in gasoline, and now the word has come about. It's been around for 2 days now. What's going on? Why are there so many gasoline stockpiles? I didn't, before I made this recording, look at the API number. I'm going to write my report in about 15 minutes. I'll look at it all then. But the fact that the market isn't jumping very much tonight tells me that the market must not fall in love still with the gasoline stockpiles. So you put it together, you try to come up with game plans. You can see you're slipping back towards unchanged again in these markets. I'll wait. You wait for tomorrow. So people will ask me, and I get it all the time, Ira, what about your Bollinger Band course? Why am I talking about this? Well, I want to make a few things very clear to you before I get anywhere. Those of you that take this course should know what a Bollinger Band is, be well versed in it, have an idea of momentum indexes. If you don't, and you're looking for this to be that primer, it won't do it. This is the master's degree. This kicks you to the next level. Today I talked to some of my clients as I was calling them up. And the one thing I asked them, I said, how have you liked the teachings and what we're doing? They said the difference between what I do and what others do is, number one, the clarity, the simplicity, and they can follow it. There's no magic outside of it that I'm hiding away. 13 videos, each 7-8 minutes long. You should get what it is. Then I give you, as part of the course, 14-day access to my morning subscriber videos. You can get both, the ETF and the morning subscriber, if you haven't tried it before. That's a caveat. I don't want you to be an old subscriber, buy it, now give me another free part of it. I'm fair, you be fair. But I will do that, I will honor that, because I want to reinforce every morning what you're learning in the course. Then you could decide, hey, I think I'm going to do that. I want to stay reinforced. The worst thing is you go to school, you learn something, and you forget what you learned when it's right in front of you. Not good. My charting software, that's included as well. So you get all this, not expensive. $75 for the whole course. And if you don't learn something, I don't know how else to teach, because this is what I do. You just go to our website under the word education. You can buy it right there. You can call my staff. They'll work with you. And I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day.